Hey there, Diane Conklin with CompleteMarketingSystems.com. Wrapping up Diane's Dozen. And if you want a copy of all 12 that we've gone through, check it out. Go to Diane'sDozen.com, and you can grab a copy there, or 10 copies, doesn't matter, whatever you want. So I want to just kind of do a little wrap up. I told you when I started this that Diane's Dozen came from initially Pat Summitt's Definite Dozen, which she used in her life and in her coaching, and I was always moved by it. And then the addition of people saying to me, you know, you've learned all these lessons from sports that you talk about having applied to business. You really should talk to people about it. And then interestingly, Don Staley, who's the head coach of the University of South Carolina's women's basketball program, released a book, and it's called Uncommon Favor. And I'm not putting a plug in for anybody's stuff, but I just finished reading it, and she has 13 lessons in her book. And interestingly enough, there was a lot of crossover. There was a lot of duplication between hers and mine and Pat's. And I'm really excited. There's a book coming out by Candace Parker, who played at the University of Tennessee and then went on and played professionally in Chicago for the Sparks and for the Aces in her career, and is now the vice president of basketball at Adidas, as well as commentates and does different things. But her book is Can-Do Attitudes, and I'm really anxious to see if she has and talks about some of these same things. My guess is that she will. The book hasn't been released yet. I have a copy coming as soon as it is. But my point is that there are certain things that are just non-negotiable. There's certain things that you have to do in life, right? In business, to be successful. And if you're willing to let go of ego, if you're willing to be open, if you're willing to be flexible, trying some of these things and applying some of these things into your life and your business, what do you have to lose? Especially if you're not where you want to be yet. Even if you are where you want to be, how do you grow to the next level if you're not already incorporating these things? And, you know, I have Pat's and mine on the hutch of my desk. I'm pointing over here because that's where it is. And I look at them every day. I think about these things every single day. I also have what I call my life wheel that I look at, and to make sure that I am continuing on the right path, that I'm living my values, because it's easy to get off track. And you know, I grew up with a lot of these things, but I grew up with sports, and so sometimes I wonder how much of this I got from parenting and how much I got from sports. But here's the piece that I know. This isn't just about sports. You can learn these lessons in other ways. If you're in the band, you probably got some of these. If you were on the debate team, if you were a cheerleader, if you were in student government, right? You probably got some of Diane's Dozens. You probably had that incorporated into you. So it's not just sports. It was just sports for me. But here's an interesting thing, and I tend to be skeptical sometimes of statistics, but I saw this the other day and it really struck me. It said 94% of women who are in executive C-suite positions in corporate America, right, played sports. Think about that. Even if that number is wrong by half, right, it would still be more than half of the women who are in executive positions, C-suite positions in major corporations, played sports. 52% of them played at the college level. What is that? Why is that significant? It's significant because I think it just reinforces the fact that sports and athletics and activities, right? Pick it, right? Again, it could be band, it could be whatever. Add to the quality of our leadership abilities because of the nature of sport. And those things cross over very easily into business, into the real world, into owning your business, or making a big significant difference in business. And I believe it's because of the things we talked about, because of the discipline, because of putting team over individual, right? Because you're organized and focused, because you have situational awareness, because you're moving toward a goal, a result, because you're a great communicator, because you take responsibility, because of those values, if you will, that get instilled, the things that have to happen that make you a good teammate, that make you a good athlete, also makes you good in life and in business. And it was just reinforced as I'm a big reader, but as I continue to read, and especially some of the sports figures and that kind of thing, but even successful people, right? I love leadership books. I love all of those kinds of things. And there's a common theme in them. And it really does talk about a lot of the things that I've talked about in this series. I hope that you got a lot out of this. If you have questions, feel free to contact me. I'm pretty easy to find on social. You can reach out to info@completemarketingsystems.com if you want to email. But again, you can find me anywhere. You can send me a DM, an IM, a PM, a LM with your strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, blueberry. But I would love to talk to you about how I can help you grow your business, how I can help you excel, how I can help you to incorporate some of these things. And look, it's not like we're going to sit and go lesson by lesson, right? But you will incorporate some of these things into your business, and we'll talk about them in a very kind of passive way as we work together from a coaching and consulting. I also do done for you and sort of fractional kind of CMO, COO kind of thing. So if you have an interest, reach out. If you want a copy of these, go to dianesdozen.com. I hope you enjoyed this series. I got a lot out of it. I had a lot of fun. It's been a while that I've done this much content like this, and so I hope that you enjoyed it. If you do, I'd love to hear your comments. If you have suggestions, that's cool too. But I hope that you will take these, think about them, utilize them in your business, and go on to have great success, whatever that means for you. Don't ever let somebody define success for you. Don't ever let somebody tell you that your business has to look a certain way. Well, you have to have $1 million business. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have the freedom and the ability and the responsibility to build your business the way you want to build it. And if that means $100,000 a year working from home 40 hours a week or 20 hours a week, and that's what you want, then that's what you build. Don't ever let somebody, a mentor, a coach, or whatever, an influencer, if you will, convince you that you have to have $1 million business in order to be successful. You get to define success. You get to determine how you do business. You get to determine how much you work. There's no gold points in heaven for working 80 hours a week. I think there's probably more gold points for having balance. I don't believe in balance, but having a more balanced life. I don't think balance is something that we talk about, but you're not balancing every day. You're not balancing every week. You're mostly out of balance. You're either working a lot, or you're completely not working, right, when you're vacationing. But that's a topic for another day. But don't let anybody convince you that a business has to look a certain way. You run it your way. It's your business. I'm going to leave you with that. Until next time, I wish you huge success. I wish you everything that you want for your life and your business, and I hope that you have fun doing it. Until next time, make it a great day. I'm Diane Conklin with CompleteMarketingSystems.com and Diane'sDozen.com.